Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I always appreciate your viewership and support. Now, I do want to give my quick thoughts on Grand Slam. I did watch the show several nights ago. I gave my thoughts on the results. I thought it was a really good show. It was a step up from your typical Dynamite or Collision. And at the same time, it wasn't a pay-per-view, but it felt like a Saturday night's main event or a Clash at the Champions during Clash at the Champions peak in the, I want to say, early to mid 90s before we started getting weekly pay-per-views. It was a very good show. Great crowd. International fans always bring the energy. I definitely recommend it. Now, let's get to Dynamite. We opened up the show with MJF and Hangman Adam Page having their face-off. We had security at ringside. MJF talked about how Page screwed him over in 2019. MJF said he had to claw and scratch his way to the top. And he brought up how he beat Page to win the Dynamite Diamond ring for the very first time. And then Page responded by saying, yes, he knows everything that MJF has accomplished, but there's one thing. MJF can never be happy because he cannot win over the fans. MJF was not happy about this. He was very offended and told Page to shut up. MJF said that Page did all these terrible things, like burning down Swerve Strickland's house, and somehow he's the good guy. Then MJF brought up how Page retired Christopher Daniels. Page got mad about this, and he put over Daniels, said that Daniels went out fighting. He died a warrior's death. And then Page said MJF will be remembered as nothing more than a coward that took shortcuts. And then Page said he never lied to the people. Page said that he worked for everything he had. And MJF, on the other hand, spent the past 5 years cheating and scheming. MJF responded by saying that Page was AEW's golden boy from day one, and all MJF needed was a scarf and a microphone. Then he asked Page to name one thing that Page thought he was better at, and Page said the one thing is he is real. MJF said he had no problem being the bad guy, and then at this point they were ready to fight. MJF spit in the face of Page, and then MJF retreated. Page was attacking the security guards, but then Christopher Daniels got in the ring, and Page backed off. And Daniels said that this is what he was fighting for, and he told Page to not listen to MJF. It was a really good segment. I thought it was a strong open to the show, and as Matthew pointed out in the chat room, it did feel like rehab for both of these guys. Both of them, it feels like they've lost some of their stock in recent months, especially MJF, but this was a great back and forth verbal battle to set up their match, which is officially confirmed for the Revolution pay-per-view. Absolutely a step in the right direction for MJF after that whole debacle with Jeff Jarrett and Dustin Rhodes. Now MJF can get back on track, hopefully. And same thing with Page. We'll see what they can put out for the universe at Revolution. Big match for that show. We had footage shown from Grand Slam Australia. Again, I recommend checking it out. We had a backstage promo from the Undisputed Kingdom, and they hyped up the main event, Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy, with the winner facing Konosuke Takeshita next week, and then the winner of that faces Kenny Omega at Revolution. Now, unless there's some kind of swerve, this just seems like TV time filler because the match is Takeshita versus Omega, right? So why are we doing this match on Dynamite and then the winner faces Takeshita, who's probably going to lose again unless they do some sort of weird swerve? But why would they? Because Omega versus Takeshita seems to be the match. Just feels like filler to me, but we'll talk about that. That was the main event match. We'll discuss that in a few moments. We had a six-man trios match. Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata versus Christian Cage, Kip Sabian, and Nick Wayne. The Opps, I guess like opposition, OPPS. Standard match here, standard six-man tag team match. Opps were dominant. Christian would tag in and then immediately tag himself out. Then the bad guys got the upper hand for a while. Then Hook tagged in, built up some momentum. Nick Wayne tried to pin Hook by grabbing the rope. That did not work. And then he went for Wayne's World, but Hook countered it into the Red Rum. And Nick Wayne had nowhere to go. Referee called for the bell. Opps pick up a big victory. I'm not a big fan of the name either. The music was also very bland, but it's a solid tag team. Gives these guys something to do. I'm not hating it, but yeah, the music and the name, not that great. We had Will Hobbs versus Big Bill in a street fight, and I think this was the highlight of the show. I thought this was a great big man match. Definitely the type of match that Hobbs needs to build up his stock in AEW and continue on his path to potentially being a major superstar. Very entertaining. Now, before the match, of course, we had to hear from Chris Jericho because, well, he's Chris Jericho, I guess. And he said without him, there would be no AEW. And he said he's going to give Bandito a Ring of Honor title match on Collision. Yay. And he said that people are getting too comfortable being around Chris effing Jericho. Whatever you say, Y2J. So anyways, Big Bill took out Hobbs with a big boot right off the bat. And Big Bill and Hobbs brawled in the crowd. And Bill was using all sorts of objects. He used a sound mixer, a keyboard, a wrench. He was taking it to Hobbs, and Hobbs got busted open and then choke slammed on the steel steps. Then Brian Keith showed up, but Hobbs was able to fight back. He took out Brian Keith, choke slammed him through a table that was set up in the corner. Crowd was loving the carnage. They were chanting "Meat Forever," and then both guys ended up on the stage. Big Bill had brought out a backpack, and as it turns out, there were bricks in the backpack. Hobbs, he used the backpack on Bill and then got him up on top of the steel steps that were set up by the edge of the stage. He knocked Big Bill off the stage, and Big Bill crashed through a table that was wrapped in barbed wire, and he couldn't beat the 10 count because he was actually stuck in the barbed wire. Now, Matthew brought up how he got pushed. I actually thought this was a really creative finish. Like maybe not the best execution with the fall, but I really liked the idea of Big Bill being caught in the barbed wire, and that's how he was unable to beat the 10 count. I give them points for creativity on that one. I really liked the finish. Hobbs picked up a nice win. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I think that this was the highlight of Dynamite and could have been a pay-per-view match. I feel like for a TV match, it was really strong. Very good match with these guys. Gabe Kidd from Japan. He's coming to AEW. He's going to be on Collision. Don't care. Good for him. Then the Death Riders stormed to the ring, very angry for whatever reason. Moxley said it's his ring. People are sitting in his seats. He said Adam Copeland's not there. His ass is probably still in the dirt from losing in Australia. And he said he's going to finish the job at Revolution. Then Jay White came out, and Pac attempted to ambush White, but then it was actually Copeland who ambushed Moxley. We had a huge brawl breakout. Copeland got Spike. Jay White took out Pac on the ramp with the Blade Runner, and the Death Riders retreated. And Copeland said that they are his people, not Moxley's. He called Moxley a coward and said that he's going to take the Riders out one by one. So there's only Moxley left at Revolution. Good segment here. I liked it because it was the baby faces outsmarting the heels. Like, I hate when the bad guys are always outsmarting the good guys. And this time, Moxley thought that they were going to outsmart Jay White, and it backfired on him. So great stuff here. I mean, I'm actually mildly interested in the match now. So I went from zero interest in this match to I'm kind of looking forward to it. So to me, it was a success. There you go. Yeah, good stuff here. We had Mercedes Moné talking to Renee Paquette, and no, I don't think Copeland is winning. Although I'm a little uncertain after that Australia show, but we do have a couple weeks left until Revolution. So anyways, Mercedes was talking to Renee Paquette backstage about her next potential challenger. She said there's no stopping the Moné train. And then we had a video from star wrestler Momo Watanabe. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she wants a shot at Revolution. Another person that Mercedes Moné can defeat. And yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Mercedes versus Toni Storm. Like, that would be an interesting match. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Mercedes is just piling up her wins. And, you know, the matches are good, but she really needs somebody who is a real threat to her title and somebody that could potentially get the rub off of beating her. And I don't think Momo is going to be that person, with all due respect to her. But then again, I haven't seen her wrestle, so maybe I'll have a different opinion. We had our women's match of the evening, right in the 9:15 Eastern slot. Chris Statlander versus Megan Bayne. Evenly matched between these two ladies. Back and forth here. But then, just as Statlander was perhaps going to pick up the win, we had Penelope Ford show up. She interfered, and that allowed Bayne to pick up the win with the F5. And then after the match was over, we had a really weird post-match. So Thunder Rosa came out there with a steel chair to even the odds and come to the aid of Statlander. But then, like, she was like trying to psych them out with the chair and like acting like she was going to hit them, but didn't. And then they just walked away. It was a very bizarre post-match angle here. Like, it was weird to me. Why didn't she just come out there and hit him with the chair or swing at him? Very weird. Like, for a moment, I thought, like, is Thunder Rosa going to like attack Chris Statlander? So I don't know. I don't know what was going on here, what they were looking to accomplish with this, but yeah, it was strange. Then backstage, we had Max Caster saying he's not going to reconsider his open challenges, and it's going to continue on Collision. Another Collision segment I have no desire or interest to ever watch. Max Caster, now that Acclaimed is over, that is his stock in the company. I hate to say it. We had somebody whose stock is actually on the rise, and that's Ricochet. Ricochet came to the ring. And by the way, I am too impressed with Megan Bayne. She definitely has some potential. I mentioned this the other week on the Dynamite recap. So anyways, we had Ricochet wearing the Prince Nana robe, and he's really getting into the heel character now. Like, dare I say, this was the best promo of his career. Now, granted, that's maybe not saying too much, but I thought he showed a little bit of personality. He talked about how Phoenix is a poor man's Las Vegas, and he said booing doesn't matter. Booing is just booing into a void of nothingness. And he said he's going to whoop the ass of everyone's favorite wrestlers. And he said he came to AEW to win some gold. That's his goal now. But then Prince Nana came to the ring and he told Swerve to stay home. He said that Ricochet is wearing something that doesn't belong to him. And if Ricochet had any honor, Ricochet would give it back. Ricochet dared Nana to take it and said Nana was not going to get back the robe. And then he took his leave. No Swerve, literally no Swerve Strickland, no attack or anything to try and get the robe back. Nana tried to just ask for it and did not get it back. I enjoyed the segment. Ricochet is coming into his own with this heel character. I mean, he really needed it. He needed some kind of a change. We had our main event of the evening. Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong, with the winner facing Takeshita, or the winner losing to Takeshita next week, because it's going to be Takeshita versus Omega at Revolution, which, because of that whole scenario, I just did not care about this match too much. You did have Jim Ross on commentary for this one, and you had Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly on the outside. Man, Adam Cole, I mean, his momentum was hurt from the injury, but since coming back, that storyline with MJF, and now he's just out there, as one of these Undisputed Kingdom guys, like, his stock has plummeted quite a bit as well. It was a good match. I just had trouble really getting invested in it. Like I said, competitive match. Orange Cassidy doing the hands in the pockets, beach break, but Strong kicked out, and then Strong nearly beat Cassidy, and then he put on the clover leaf. Orange Cassidy got to the rope, and then Orange Cassidy hit the Slumdog Millionaire, finally beating him with the Orange Punch. After the match was over, Don Callis' family showed up, and that led to an attack on Orange Cassidy. Kenny Omega came out to make the save. It was still a situation where they were outnumbered, but they were able to fight back and clear the ring. And then Omega took the international title and held it up as AEW Dynamite went off the air. Overall, I think it was a very good show. Was it perfect? No, but I think it was one of the better Dynamites over the last couple months. I really don't have too much to complain about, and I really enjoyed the Hobbs and Big Bill match, and we had some strong promos on the show, like the MJF and Adam Page segment. I enjoyed Ricochet's segment, and even the Adam Copeland Death Rider segment I thought was pretty solid. So I did like Dynamite this week. I am giving it a 7 out of 10. 7 points for Dynamite this week. Very good match. Very good show overall. Very good match with the Big Bill match. So yeah, I liked Dynamite, and I would recommend it. I think AEW is got a little bit of momentum right now. It feels like something could be brewing here, but we'll have to see if they can take some of these guys to the next level over the next couple of months. And they did announce Double or Nothing coming to Phoenix, which is where Dynamite was this week. That'll be, I believe, May 25th. Now, next Wednesday, I will be unable to recap Dynamite. So there will be no live Dynamite recap from me next Wednesday night. I may come on Thursday and do a stream and talk about it. So just letting you guys know, no Dynamite recap next week. Unable to do so. I will be in the air I will not be able to recap that show, just the way timing worked out. My mom is turning 70 years old this week, so I'm in California spending some time with her, and that's why the time and schedule of some of these streams this week will be a little different from usual. So thank you for everybody out there that is tuning in and watching, and some of you watching on demand as well. Again, much appreciation, much love to you all. Stay safe out there and enjoy wrestling, as Noah Foster would say. Contact him if you want to join the Predictions League. We got some big ones coming up. Thank you guys again. Have a great night. Say yes to no DQ, and I will see you all next time.